You hear that knock? That's not a friendly visitor. That's the collectors. And they want their cut of your cheese every single month. You worked 40 hours on the wheel this week. You earned 100 cheese slices. But when you open your paycheck envelope, there's only 70. Where did the other 30 go? The white coats call it taxation. They say it's for the greater good of the laboratory. But here's what they don't tell you. The rich rats are barely paying anything. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how the cheese collection system really works. Welcome back, subjects. I'm Subject 001, and today we're breaking down the most unavoidable trap in the entire maze: taxes. Let's start with the basics. What even is a tax? A tax is basically mandatory cheese collection. The white coats take a portion of your cheese to fund the laboratory. The tunnels you walk through, taxes. The security cameras watching you, taxes. The water in your drinking tube, you guessed it, taxes. Sounds fair, right? Everyone chips in, everyone benefits. That's the theory. But here's where it gets interesting. The white coats created something called tax brackets. And this is where most rats get confused and get screwed. Let me clear up the biggest misconception about taxes. Most rats think, if you earn more cheese, your cheese gets taxed at the higher rate. Wrong. That's not how it works, and the white coats love that you don't understand this. Here's how it actually works. Imagine your cheese as water filling up buckets. First bucket holds your first 10 slices, taxed at 10%. When that's full, the next 30 slices overflow into bucket to taxed at 20%. And so on. Your cheese gets taxed in layers, not all at once. Let me give you real numbers. Say you earned 100 cheese slices. Your first 11 slices, taxed at 10%, you pay 1.1 slices. Next 34 slices, taxed at 12%, you pay 4.08 slices. Next 50 slices, taxed at 22%, you pay 11 slices. Total tax, about 16 slices, not 22 slices like you might have feared. So moving into a higher tax bracket doesn't mean your cheese gets crushed. Only the cheese above that threshold gets the higher rate. But wait, if the system is so fair, why do billionaire rats pay less in taxes than you? Let me show you the loopholes. But here's the thing. Income tax is just one way they collect your cheese. Let me introduce you to the collector family. There's income tax. Takes from what you earn, sales. Tax takes from what you buy, property tax. Takes from what you own, capital gains tax. Takes from what you grow. Let me walk you through a day in a rat's life. You wake up in your cage. That's property taxed. You buy breakfast cheese, sales taxed. You go to work on the wheel, income taxed. You invest some savings, capital gains taxed. You die, estate taxed. They even tax your death, subjects. Now here's where it gets really unfair. Working rats pay mostly income tax, the highest rates, but rich rats, their cheese comes from investments and capital gains taxed at much lower rates. Same amount of cheese, completely different tax treatment. And here's the kicker. Rich rats don't even sell their investments. They use something called buy, borrow, die. They buy assets. Borrow against them tax-free, and when they die, the gains are wiped clean for their heirs legal. Yes, fair. You tell me. Okay, so they take your cheese, but where does it actually go? The white coats say it funds the laboratory. Let's follow the cheese trail and see for ourselves. Here's the breakdown for a typical laboratory budget. About 25% goes to healthcare cheese, keeping old rats alive. Another 25% goes to security cheese, weapons, guards, protection. 15% goes to safety net cheese, food for rats who can't work, and the interest on borrowed cheese. 10% and growing. But here's what they don't advertise. A huge chunk goes to corporate cheese subsidies, basically giving your cheese to the biggest cheese factories, and those maze renovation contracts. They always seem to go to the white coats' friends. Funny how that works. And the most painful part. The whitecoats borrow more cheese than they collect. They spend cheese they don't have, and guess who pays the interest? Your children, your grandchildren. Debt passed down through generations of rats who never agreed to it. Now let's talk about the secret tunnels. While regular rats march through the main maze paying tolls at every turn, rich rats have access to hidden passages. These are called loopholes, and they're not accidents. They were built this way. Loophole number 1. The offshore cheese vault. Rich rats move their cheese to special vaults outside the laboratory. Different rules apply there. The whitecoats K&W about these vaults, but somehow never get around to closing them. Weird, huh? Loophole number 2. The business cheese deduction. Rich rats create businesses and suddenly their mansion becomes a home office. Their sports car becomes a business vehicle, and their vacation becomes a business trip. Everything transforms into a write-off. And loophole number 3. The charitable cheese foundation. Rich rats donate cheese to their OWN foundation. Get a massive tax break. Then use that foundation to fund their own lifestyle. The cheese never really left. It just took a scenic route back to them. All right, subjects, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about what you can actually do. You may not have access to Loophole Lane, but there are legal mini-tunnels available to regular rats too. Mini-tunnel number 1. Retirement cheese vaults. The 401k IRA. These let you hide cheese from the collectors until you're old. The cheese grows untaxed for decades. It's one of the few advantages regular rats have. Use IT. Mini-tunnel number 2. The Health Cheese Account, or HSA, Triple Tax Advantage. Cheese goes in tax-free, grows tax-free, comes out tax-free for medical expenses. It's literally the only thing in the maze that gets taxed 0 times. And mini-tunnel number 3. Just know the rules. Most rats overpay taxes because they don't understand what they can deduct. Education, home office, moving expenses. The maze has more doors than you think. You just have to look for them. Here's the bottom line, subjects. The tax system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. It was built by the whitecoats. For the whitecoats, the loopholes aren't bugs, they're features. But now you understand how it works. And that's the first step to navigating it. We cracked another section of the maze today. If you want to keep learning the escape routes, hit that subscribe button before the collectors notice. Next video, we're tackling debt. The longest tunnel in the whole maze. Get off the wheel. Solve the maze. See you, subjects.